At the University of Regina, the Equity, Diversity and Inclusion Digital Resource Hub showcases impactful EDI initiatives across the campus.
It's a centralized, accessible resource for our community and post-secondary institutions nationally.
Join us to hear the stories behind the initiatives shaping our campus.
The University of Regina's 2020 to 2025 Research Action Plan, Transformational Research for Societal Resilience, sets the direction for our research future. It connects directly with our strategic plan, All Our Relations. At the heart of it, our research culture is about discovery and innovation. It positions the U of R as the entrepreneurial and innovative core of Saskatchewan and the prairies. And it's shaped by our commitments to decolonization, to indigeneity, and to climate action. These values guide the way we think about discovery and how we approach research that matters to people and the communities we work with. We also know that research can only be its best when it's inclusive. That's why the university is committed to creating systems that are equitable and that support diversity and inclusion for students, faculty, and staff. We believe that policies and practices need to be co-developed with the very communities they serve, so that our research environments are stronger, fairer, and more impactful. To help lead this work, we have 2 research engagement manager roles, which I'm part of. These positions were created together by the Office of Vice President Research and the Office of Indigenous Engagement. The REM team is focused on promoting ethical research engagement across all equity-deserving groups at the U of R. They coordinate initiatives that support inclusive practices, connect diverse researchers and opportunities, and encourage collaboration both within our campus and with communities beyond it. So what's our vision? It's to expand research capacity at the U of R by embedding equity, diversity, and inclusion into everything we do. That means embracing social innovation, building respectful partnerships, and creating space where academia and communities can come together in culturally meaningful ways. Here's how we're putting that vision into action. We're strengthening equitable research environments for historically underrepresented groups while upholding the rights and self-determination of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We're opening new opportunities for knowledge mobilization in line with the tri-agency efforts around equity, diversity, and inclusion from a national perspective. We're cultivating partnerships with community organizations, locally with Indigenous communities and underrepresented groups, and globally with Indigenous research institutions around the world. And we're encouraging students to pursue research pathways that make a difference by connecting their work in social impact, sustainability, and experiential learning grounded in equity and inclusion. This is the University of Regina's research vision in action, building resilience, fostering equity, and creating research that truly serves our communities. When it comes to resources and access to EDI training, I encourage you to visit the Office of Research Services website, especially the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion resource page at uregina.ca. I also invite you to check out the Johnson Shoreyama School of Public Policy EDI discussion series. This series takes a thoughtful look at how governments and institutions can better support marginalized communities and work to break down systemic barriers. What makes it especially powerful is that it features speakers from equity-deserving groups who share their lived experiences, along with practical recommendations for how the public sector and institutions can take real action against discrimination and oppression. Some of the past sessions I had the privilege of attending are how to engage effectively with First Nations communities and governments. That was with Cadmus Delorum and Tosh Southwick. How to engage effectively with Métis communities and governments with Dorothy Mio and Daniel Voth, and deconstructing systemic racism in the public service, where Carrie Ann Douglas Powell, Danvier Fuji Johnson, Mohammed Hassam, and Neil Kiostep shared candid insights into the struggles BIPOC civil servants face and how systemic racism can be identified, disrupted, and dismantled. As you can see, the series covers a wide range of intersectional perspectives, making space for important and often underrepresented voices. If you're interested in attending or even presenting at a future session, you can connect with the team at jsgs events@uregina.ca. Whether you're conducting research with equity-deserving populations or you yourself identify as part of one of the 4 designated groups in Canada, women and gender diverse individuals, Indigenous peoples as rights holders, persons with disabilities, or members of visitable minorities, our research engagement team is here for you. We truly welcome you to reach out anytime, research.engagement@uregina.ca. We can support you in many different ways, from connecting you with individuals and organizations doing similar work, to reviewing or providing guidance on things like Research Ethics Board documents, research team considerations, grant application, EDI sections, or even knowledge mobilization and dissemination strategies. I currently serve as a reviewer on the Research Ethics Board, and it's been a really meaningful way to bring equity, diversity, and inclusion perspectives into the research process. If you're interested in getting involved and adding your voice to this important work, I encourage you to connect with the compliance office at research.ethics@uregina.ca. They'd be happy to share more about how you can participate. Some of the ways that the REM team has been supporting equity, diversity, and inclusion in our efforts to strengthen research environments include, first, by facilitating inclusive programming and gatherings. For example, we've hosted the Indigenous Scholar Appreciation Lunch, feeding sessions, and Indigenous Scholar Mini Writing Retreat series. These events bring together researchers across disciplines and create space for individuals with intersectional identities, including gender diverse scholars, visible minorities, and researchers with diverse abilities from across the university, including the federated entities and some partners. Second, through active membership on multiple advisory bodies at both the institutional and national level. This includes the UR Press Indigenous Circle, the Research Ethics Board, the Canadian Alliance Network Advisory, and the Tri-Agency Reference Group Peer Review of Indigenous Research. Third, by leading systemic changes to ethics procedures and contributing to more culturally safe approaches to research dissemination. And finally, by serving as an equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility advisor. In this role, we provide mentorship on several grant applications, and I've been named an official champion on a couple as well. We know that there are still a number of systemic barriers in research, but the good news is when we pool our resources and work together, we can start to break down those inequities and create a stronger, more inclusive research community. If you're working on an initiative or project that supports equity, diversity, and inclusion, we'd love to hear about it. You can share it with our university community by reaching out to the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion at ureincluded@uregina.ca. And if you'd like to learn more about some of the systemic barriers that exist, or if you're interested in accessing EDI training and resources, feel free to connect with me directly at jenna.ives@uregina.ca. I'd be happy to share information by email, or even better, we could grab a coffee and chat more in person. What you do matters, and more importantly, what you don't do matters. So it's time to question why you think the way you think, and this is the perfect place to do it. Through research, through academia, reach out. That's how we learn together.